Alright, good morning folks. Very excited for this stream today. Can't tell you what it is for another minute or so. Alright, give me one more sec and we will get started. Alright, it's officially after 9 o'clock, and that means we can finally reveal what it is. So, please don't dox me by trying to look at the shipping label. Without further ado, the moment we've all been waiting for. We've seen the leaks, but it is here in my hands. Tahu and Takua. So excited, so very excited for this. So good morning again folks, Black 6 from BZPower here. Super stoked to be building this set today. I just posted on BZPower. I had the chance to participate in a roundtable session with Nick Voss and Nick Van Slagmat, two LEGO designers. Nick, Brickthing on the internet, was the lead designer on this set. So you know that this was made by a Bionicle fan for Bionicle fans. And if you read that interview, I'll cover some of the things that were discussed in that. But just like from the packaging, right? Immediately you look at this and it has some of those 2001 vibes, to the point where, you know, the initial packaging, the packaging teams went back and found the original assets, but they used like the 2003 Bionicle logo, and Nick was like, no, you gotta use the 2001 one. And apparently like the shadow on here originally went the other way, and they fixed that to match the packaging of the original Tahu set. Obviously the pose, very similar to what we had back in 2001, Tahu on his lava board there, surfing. So just the packaging has so much nostalgia to it, so much attention to detail that they were able to include in here. Very, very awesome. Don't mind the not for sale sticker there. And on the back, we can see Takua, kind of modeled more after the Matt Nui online game look. Very iconic for longtime Bionicle fans. Maybe not as iconic as Tahu, but like the fact that Nick was able to include this is very much a call out to the longtime hardcore Bionicle fans, right? Like most Bionicle fans are going to recognize Tahu. Not everyone's going to recognize Takua, so it's very much there for the fans. So you can kind of see that Takua can go on the back of Tahu as he surfs on the lava board. Little breakdown of Tahu there, very cool. On the top, we've got the mask reimagined. If you read the interview, you'll see that they spent a lot of time working on the mask. You can see some of the prototypes, designs. They tried a lot of different things, from just putting like an image of the how on that 2x2 curved slope. Ended up going more with this design. And like I said, check out BZPower, where we have the full interview where you can learn more about that process. Yeah, so super stoked about this set. So let's, without further ado, open this box and get to it. All right, so we actually have numbered bags in here. So 4 bags of parts and an instruction book. Not like super premium, it's not bound, but it's still like a very good looking book. I like that it's on a white background. I believe LEGO announced a little while back that they're going to be kind of switching to that to be more environmentally friendly, save on ink and stuff like that, so that's really cool to see. I believe there are some cool references in here. So of course this is like very much a callback to some of those original posters that we had. Got like the classic masks in there, the infected How with Matt and Nui. It goes back to the fact, like I said, LEGO has a lot of the original assets still from Bionicle, so they're able to go through and probably find like the original Photoshop files and just take the background and add the new sets to the foreground here. Again, with those classic assets, that like stone temple look, I remember that from back in the day. Like, ooh, even all this stuff back here. And we actually have a message from Greg Farsty. Unfortunately, as you'll notice, I don't know if you can see it well in here, but when you get your own copy, you'll be able to see it. He unfortunately misspelled his last name, and it was caught too late in the process to fix it. But Greg unfortunately no longer works for the LEGO group, but this set started the design process last year before he was let go, and even though he knew he was going to be let go, by the time he wrote this message, he still wrote this for the fans. So I'm just going to go ahead and read that here. In 2001, the LEGO group introduced a new theme that would become a global sensation, LEGO Bionicle. This story of mighty heroes with elemental powers took the world by storm and inspired comics, novels, and 4 films. Now 2 of the most popular characters, Tahu and Takua, return in the form of this exclusive set in System Bricks. This special set is not only a tribute to the Bionicle heroes, it is a thank you to the legions of fans who have kept the spirit of Bionicle alive for more than 20 years. It's the passion and creativity of the fans of all ages that ensure the legends of the Tahu will always live on. So, very heartfelt message. Very sad that, unfortunately, Greg is no longer with the company to kind of see this all the way through. But, still, the legend lives on, I guess. And so happy to see that he was able to contribute that here. So yeah, without further ado, we're gonna get building, I guess. Oh, and our first message of the day is a spam bot. Fantastic. Let's kick them out here. All right. Let's get our picture cam set up. Let's take our time on this. So we'll have a full review of this set up on BZPower soon. Still finalizing some of that. We'll have a video review on our YouTube channel as well. And like I said, make sure you check out the interview we did. All right. So starting off, got a little reference to the legend of Bionicle. Of course, longtime fans will recognize immediately what this is supposed to represent here. That classic animation of Matanui versus Makuta. So you got the Matanui stone, the Makuta stone. You know, for a promotional set, obviously they couldn't get prints on these. I'm not even sure if you can print on this egg piece, but still, like, it's enough that, like, we know what it is. It's really cool to be able to see that. You know, just like, what, 6 extra pieces that they're able to kind of sneak in to the set. Alright, now we're diving right in, building Takua. One of the questions that okay, that's cool. Thank you, Joel. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, so one of the things that gets discussed in the interview that we've got posted, pretty much for this set, Nick was allowed 2 unique parts. And so they chose to do the 2x2 curved slopes with the masks. So here you can see Takua's Pikari, and obviously Tahu's How. So I think those are much more important than printing on the eggs, but it's good to know that it could be done. But you know, I think can be satisfied that they did not actually do that and instead focused on getting the masks instead. So like in a perfect world, maybe we could have had it, but you know, we have to work within the limitations of the set design restrictions. And just the fact that this set exists, I think, is pretty impressive. This little Victorian feet, so cute. I think this is a real great job of capturing those silly little Victorian feet. Yeah, unfortunately, looks like going to be a gift with purchase. We did reach out as part of the process of getting the set to see if we could get the official requirements for that gift with purchase. I know there have been some leaks. You know, I don't know for sure how accurate those all are. I'd assume they're probably pretty accurate, but it looks like it's going to be a $100 gift with purchase with some restrictions. We've got Takua's backpack from the Matanui online game. Of course, fans from that will immediately recognize that. You know, it wasn't available in any sets. There have been plenty of fan interpretations over the years, but this is like the first time we've seen it in a set, which is really cool. Another thing that Nick made sure to do with these goofy little arch arms is have 2 different clips to match those Mictoran arms, right? Because the one was like this, and the other was sideways, so he could, like, you know, throw the disc. Obviously, the disc throwing action does not exist in this set, but still like a cool little reference to that. And just like a little bit of range of motion thanks to those like espresso handle pieces. And then obviously it goes up and down. Another thing that was brought up in the interview, it was specifically asked about the mixel joints. I don't know if it's been said elsewhere previously in an official capacity, but you know, they did say that the reason that we only have these pieces in dark gray and light gray are just to keep the tolerances as close as possible. You know, I'm sure people have seen a lot of the issues with colors and stuff over the years. LEGO continues to seem to have some problems keeping some of those tolerances as close as fans would probably like to see. So in order to keep the joints working properly, LEGO has decided to restrict these to dark gray and light gray. So kind of have the official word on that, which you can again read more about in the interview. So here's Takua's little head, his Mictoran head. It is a recolor. So yeah, so interesting. I can't keep track of all the Mixel colors, but it is interesting that it was recolored to dark gray, but it was not done for this set. If it was recolored, it was done for something else and already available. I love that they got the little eyes color in the back, even though the Mictorans did not have the eye piece. I'm trying to remember if the Mask of Light Mictoran did. It's been so long. I'm trying to like think back if they had that or not, but still, it's a cool thing to see there. All right, and then get to make the Picari. Not the original color of his mask. Those parts were not available in that color, or these parts were not available in that color. But as you'll see in the interview, Nick actually prefers this color, so he's happy with it. I think it still kind of meets the brief. And as you can see, the way the head is designed, the eyes actually line up with the studs. So that's a kind of cool little detail that they managed to incorporate in here. And it's a little goofy, but that's kind of what they were going for. Again, I'm going to keep referencing the interviews, so apologies for that. Make sure you go read it after the stream is done. But they were definitely going for a more cartoonish look to these characters. And the disc, again, no printing on it. Sadly, they were only allowed two unique decos or prints in this set. But I'm sure, you know, if you wanted to, you could make a sticker or something for this. You would have to watch out to make sure that the sticker was like just on the inside and didn't catch the edge of the disc there. But really cool to see that the disc added just at all, right? It's just so cool. He's such a goofy little guy. He can stand on one foot. You know, he's got a much better range of motion than the original Mictoran, right? The head's got quite a bit of posability, gives him some kind of expressiveness, and of course the arms can move up and down, and they kind of have like a little bit of like shoulder motion there, and the feet kind of give it like a lot, and you can make him sit down, so it's kind of cool. Just yeah, like, such a cool little design here. Welcome, Diego. Thank you for joining us this morning. All right, put that over there. And next up, we've got the lava board with a little display base. this is like the most system bricks that I've ever been in a Bionicle set, for obvious reasons. A nice little snot construction going on there. In some clips for the lava board to attach to. I like how they're on slightly two different levels here. So when the lava board attaches, it'll be slightly angled, give them kind of some dynamic posing. Bunch of these little 1x3 curve slopes to kind of round out the base. And then we'll be done with the first bag. Cool design there, to have it offset by like a plate, give it like a little bit of a taper. These side ones are using this 1x2 plate with a little bar on it, kind of help fill in what would otherwise be a gap in the corner. Give it like this little, kind of almost like a finial detail. Really helps kind of finish it off. Makes for a really cool base. Definitely like a nice solid like platform to display it on. You know, as it gets discussed in the interview, again, I'm going to keep referencing, right, like kids who are Bionicle fans back in the early 2000s are in their 30s now, you know, myself included. So in theory, like, you know, you've got a job in your office or something, and you know, can put this on your desk and like makes for a nice, cool display piece. Definitely really interesting, like nice and finished model. Whereas if you look at in the interview some of the other possible designs that were considered for this set, you know, some of them didn't necessarily have that display aspect to it. which they're still very cool. Definitely encourage you to, again, head to BZPower and check out that interview. Like the Takua model that you'll see there, very awesome, but maybe not quite like, would not have quite resulted in this cool kind of finished display that kind of feels like, you know, like a solid product, like, even if it's a one-off, right? It feels like it is. This is Bionicle, right? All right, time to build us a lava board. So using these little riot shield pieces. I think they were first introduced in Star Wars. One of the First Order Stormtrooper designs, and they've been since used in a lot of situations just for this purpose, right? To attach on the bottom of something to give an attachment point with the bar. And again, just like on here where these are offset, we're doing an offset here as well. So that when this attaches on, again, it'll be at even more of an angle, adding some dynamic posing to it. Got some unprinted Nixo shield pieces in dark tan. Again, probably not exclusive to this set, but I don't think I've seen them in this color before. Oh, did I do this wrong? Thankfully I got a brick separator. I assumed it was going to be symmetric, but it is going to be offset a little bit at the end there. And so that's going to firmly attach. Yeah, the lighting definitely does make it look more olive green, but it is 100% dark tan. I think I might have to adjust some of my camera settings. I had some technical issues this morning as I was setting up for the stream, and my camera settings got wiped, so I had to like try to fix them in a hurry before we started this morning. So apologies for any issues with the lighting and coloring there. So that's the base. Again, nice and solid, very sturdy. You know, you can like push down on this, like it's. If you like leverage it a lot, it'll pop, but otherwise it's pretty solid. And again, nice and finished with those black curved slopes. So you can get Takua to ride this while we build Tahu. All right. And now, starting on the main event, starting on Tahu. Looks so, like, angular in this picture here, but of course, you know, with thanks to the mixel joints and everything, he'll have some nice posing and dynamicism to him in the actual model. Just one of those, like, rendered instruction looks that is not maybe very flattering. Starting on the torso here, I believe this is going to be the back, and that's supposed to kind of represent the gears from the original set. One of the things that, again, from the interviews, that this was one of the parts that Nick spent like the longest time on, like the silly little gears on the back that in general you're not going to be able to see in the finished model. But it was like trying to find the balance between accuracy to the original and also functionality, because using this part, giving it a bar, means Takua will be able to attach onto it, which is, you know, a really cool little feature to have. So you've got these little espresso handles to kind of achieve that shaping, that angled shaping on the original Toa torso. We'll have to see in the finished model, but I'm like kind of wondering, like, would another color have been better to kind of match the original coloring, or maybe it's good to have them in black in case you want to build. Oh, man, I'm doing a bad job following the instructions. Just too excited this morning, skipping steps all over the place. Or is it better to have them in black so that you can build the other Toa more easily? Yeah, I think that's kind of a personal preference, and I think these handles have appeared in enough colors over the years that if you want to replace them yourself, I'm sure you can. Some other pieces, like obviously the mixel joints and this 2x2 plate with the mixel ball, going to be a bit harder to achieve. So again, maybe having those black details is for the best because it can help standardize them for people who want to build all of the Toa. All right, so it says we're supposed to push these in just a little bit so they're angled. And if you do that after you put these arches in, it kind of locks in these L plates so you don't push them up. So if you like push really hard, you can see it pushes up that L plate, and they want to kind of avoid that. So that's why they want to lock them in first before you push it in. I do love that we still have the original Voodoo Ball. I'm not sure if it's gotten a new mold since 2001. It seems very similar, right? Because it still has enough space for the stud in the back. And that was like the original Tahu has one of those on his chest. And even though this is like a smaller scale, right? We still got it there. Just kind of helps connect them, 22 years apart. Which is just so crazy to think about, right? That it's been 22 years almost since the set came out, or since the original set came out. And now we have one that's got like waist articulation. Look at that. Can you imagine if the original Tahu could do this? How cool that would have been. Like spin on his waist there. Getting some legs. So, I mean, this isn't trying to be an exact replica of the original, you know? This is supposed to be very much like a tribute to Bionicle, as opposed to trying to recreate the original as faithfully as possible. So, there's quite a few thematic changes to it. Like some of the coloring doesn't quite match the original, which I think is, you know, perfectly fine. As you'll see as we're building the legs here, right, the original did not have, or had, did I do this wrong? Oh, yep, man. The original had ankle articulation, right, and this one does not. And as Nick discussed in the roundtable session we did, you know, he never, I don't think there was ever a version that had ankle articulation. This was just kind of like the original design that he came up with. And as you'll see, you know, as a result of that, it helps make it a lot easier to attach him to the lava board. And not only that, makes it a lot more stable on the lava board. So, you know, it's all about like finding the right balance between stability and posability. You know, the feet here are maybe a little comically large, although I guess in the original Toa, right, the feet were a bit out of proportion, but that, it just speaks to the playability of the set, right? The bigger feet meant it was more stable when you put it down, and that is something we still have here. And the bigger the foot, you know, means that you can like have him, oh, maybe not, if you balance him properly, you can have him stand on one leg kind of thing and get some like really cool poses. So even without that ankle articulation, you can see we're already like able to get so many more poses than the original Tahu ever had. Maybe you'll actually be able to capture you know, some of those poses that we saw on like the poster art, like the box art here with the lava board, right? The original Tahu could not pose like that. He did not have knees that could bend. So it's kind of cool to see 2 decades later them finally giving us that dream from way back when. I do love the use of this piece, right, which is even older than Bionicle itself, to kind of capture that hand. The it was like a throwbot, like hip piece from back in the day. It was used for the hands on a lot of those Bionicle sets early on. And then we've got like this little shoulder pad thing here, which didn't exist in the original set. It's kind of added here. It helps kind of like cover up the mixel joint a little bit. Gives it more of a finished look. I think it looks pretty cool. Love using these cheese slopes here and these 2x3 wedge plates. Kind of capture some of the original shaping on the arm piece. And I also love the asymmetry of the arms, which again matches the original. You know, not necessarily matches it like piece for piece, but in the original Tahu he had 2 different arms. A lot of the Toa did. Right, he had the one weapon arm, which is where like those ridges come from, and then the one new piece, and even some like Leiwa had like the throwbot arm still. It's really cool to see that. Yeah, that's true. The little plate with the bar clip here kind of captures that original hip joint piece that was used on the shoulders. Be interesting to see then how you would change this maybe on some of the other Toa who had the hip joint oriented differently. Okay, and now for the head. So again, it was a very specific choice, obviously, for Nick to use a 1x2 trans pink piece for the eyes. As any, long-time Bionicle fan will know, that was the colors of Tahu's eyes underneath his mask. And then we've also got the print where they made sure to have those matching pink eyes. And again, just like in Takua, right, those eyes match up with the studs. So these are kind of like the eyes on that Toa head piece. And I mean, I think the print for the How looks great. The overall shaping does seem a little odd, but they're kind of like working within the limitations of system. And once you put it on his head, I think it looks fantastic. I'm like, oh my God, it's Tahu. All right, Tahu gets a lightsaber. And his flame sword. And yeah, that is it. We got a little inventory here. Interesting, there's no, I can't remember the last instruction manual I looked at that had like the wind, the survey thing, but now it's just plain white. Looks weird not having anything on the back of the instructions. All right. Let's switch over to that view to kind of see our finished model here. So like I said, you got the two Technic pinholes here, and this allows you to kind of really easily line them up. And now he can't like bend at the ankles, so he can stay really sturdy on here. He can kind of get into that low pose. Right, the original Tahu definitely could not pose like that, and this looks so sick. And then like if we switch the disc over to the other hand here, like, Takua can just like clip on the back there and hang on for dear life as Tahu's surfing around. Hang 10 there. Yeah, original Tahu did not have a lava board, so yeah, this is, very much again like a tribute, right? A tribute to the classic Bionicle sets without trying to be an exact one-for-one representation of them. All right. So we are doing a giveaway today, like with all of our live builds. So if you have not entered yet, you can head over to that link, BZPower.com/giveaway, fill out a quick form, and be entered to win a prize. Really love, just so awesome. We're gonna, I think, switch back to the other camera to get like a better view in a sec. Kind of get a more down to earth view. It's weird doing a stream this early. The lighting is a little different. You'll see some light coming in through my windows in the background there. But there he is. So yeah, the lava board is nice and solid, keeps the pose, allows Tahu to kind of go however you want to put him and still look awesome as he's surfing through. Again, because of that angle, looks very dynamic, looks like he is mid-surf. Very, very awesome. And yeah, I would love to see, I'm sure many people are gonna make their own versions of the other Toa, of more Matoran and stuff as well. One of the things that you'll see in the interview we did was that they were kind enough to actually share some different pictures from the development process, and that includes some of the actual like design patterns for the masks. So I'm sure people will be able to grab those and recolor them so they can make, you know, like a yellow how to make a Jala or Jaller, which would be a really easy switch to do, right? Because you already have Takua, who's, you know, like 80% of the way there. Just have to update the mask and get rid of the backpack, and you go from Takua to Jaller, or, you know, it makes it really easy to go to a bunch of the other Matoran and things like that. You know, having the Picari design can switch that and make a black version with green eyes, so we can get an Anua. It'd be really cool to see that as well. And then I'm sure, you know, the Bionicle community is nothing if not stacked with talented artists. So I'm sure people will make their own designs for the other masks. Not only, I'm sure, the 2001 you know, great and noble masks, but also, you know, the Nuva masks, and maybe going into the Metro Nui masks and stuff like that. Ooh, excuse me. And I'm sure we'll see quite a few designs based off this template of other Toa and Matoran and different characters. One of the other things you'll see in the interview, Nick kind of took the pieces from this set, right? This set has 219 parts, but he took these and started making different Rahi out of it. Not necessarily like Rahi that are canon from the original run of Bionicle, but just things that could be built using these parts. And he hopes that, you know, people kind of go into that vein too, right? Use this as a starting point to create like a whole new universe and design language for Bionicle in system form, right? So this is 100% a one-off set, right? Do not expect to see more official Lego Bionicle sets in this style. You know, again, you can read the interview to kind of get some more insight into that process. But this is definitely like a one and done kind of thing. Not to say that there will never be another Bionicle tribute set, or we'll never see another contraction or buildable action figure line. But this is it for this, right? So anything else, I think, that comes from this set is going to be left to the fans. And I'm sure the designers at Lego, who are, so many of them are Bionicle fans, like Nick and Neek, Corvin, Aaron, so many folks that have come from the Bionicle community and are now Lego designers, will love to see what the community is doing and may make their own fan designs, and maybe they'll share them, maybe they won't. But this is, you know, this is like their tribute to Bionicle, and now it's up to us as the fans to kind of go from here and expand upon it if we so desire. And I'm sure plenty of people out there will. But yeah, man, so freaking awesome. So if you have not seen the leaks, as far as how this set is going to be available, it is definitely a gift with purchase. We have not been given the official requirements, but there have been some leaks that say it's going to be a gift with purchase for $100 with only select themes is the interesting part. And again, so I can either confirm or deny if the leak is accurate, right? I have no inside information, but the leak that is out there says it's, I believe, like City, Friends, Ninjago, Monkey Kid, Classic, Creator 3-in-1, and Dots. So a lot of the like internal IPs. So no Marvel, no Star Wars, no ideas, no icons, which is kind of disappointing, at least for me, because like those are the sets I tend to gravitate towards. Is like a lot of the bigger sets these days, the cool display pieces. Uh-oh. Camera, what are you doing? All right, sorry about that. I said I was having some camera issues before. I guess those might be coming back, so we'll have to wrap this up soon. But there are definitely a lot of cool Ninjago, Monkey Kid, and other sets out there. I'm sure you'll be able to find some. And we're planning on BZPower to create an article in the coming week or two with some suggestions, like our personal picks of sets that you might want to consider to buy to get the set when the promotion starts. Sorry about that, my cat just attacked my microphone. So yeah, that is Tahu and Takua. So excited that this set exists. I will be, so LEGO sent me this copy, very thankful for that, but I will be buying my own. I'll be spending $100 or whatever the limit is, just so I can have another to keep in the box as a, you know, neurotic collector. Maybe even multiples, who's to say. We'll have to see what sets I decide to want. But I think it's absolutely worth it if you're a Bionicle fan to pick up this set. You know, $100 is a bunch of money, but there's not going to be another opportunity like this. So yeah, it'd be cooler if you could just buy this for $20 or something. But it is what it is. From talking to Nick and Neek and hearing about the design process and their interaction with like the rest of the company, you know, it's definitely been a labor of love to make this set happen from a lot of Bionicle fans within the LEGO group, and very happy that all the pieces were able to fit in place to put this set like into the hands of fans. And I hope as many people as possible can get their hands on that and enjoy like this fitting tribute to Bionicle. Okay. Oh, wrong thing. So let's go ahead and pick our winner for today. Oh man, I guess doing this at 9 a.m. and not as many people participated. So it looks like Joel, WWG, congrats. You've won a Tahu Uniter of Fire set from the last wave of official Bionicle sets. So we'll be reaching out to you. I'll send you an email so you can get your name and address and send that out as soon as possible. So thank you all for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed this look at the Bionicle gift with purchase, Tahu and Takua. Very excited, very awesome, super stoked for it. And like I said, head over to BZPower to check out our interview that we did with a bunch of other LEGO fan sites, where we talked to Nick and Neek about the design process of this set and how it came into being. And we'll have a full review with a video done by Jason and Josh and Pat. All put in a lot of work to make hopefully a pretty awesome review, looking into this set in even more depth and giving some additional opinions and thoughts on it. And yeah, stay tuned. Possibly later today, if not later today, then tomorrow. We'll get that posted. Still finalizing some things. And yeah, excited to see what the community thinks of this set once they get their hands on it. And excited to see what they do with it and where it goes from there. So with that, I'm gonna wrap things up for today. Thank you all again for joining me, and we'll catch you next time for another live build. Have a great day, everyone.